What's up, YouTube? It's Rob Monty here. So today's wrestling news. Today we got so many things to be talking about. There's not too much as far as big news going out there. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more coming out, especially if you guys are watching the other channels. Here's what we are going to be talking about today. First and foremost, we will be talking about Sami Callihan revealing why he worked the tapings at Impact for Rebellion during the coronavirus. WWE has already confirmed the two men's and two women's Money in Bank qualifying matches for tonight's for Friday Night SmackDown. The Young Bucks will talk about Chris Jericho. Then we're also going to have the ratings in for the Dark Side of the Ring. And Arn Anderson's has laid some comments about Scott Steiner. And Jim Cornette reveals if Vince McMahon is a cool guy. And we also have the network airing 2 new Triple H specials. And basically, we're also going to talk about an injury for a superstar. And then we also have SummerSlam status. Tessa Blanchard is also going to, and Eddie Edwards are going to explain their missing Impact Rebellion issues. MLW is doing something cool now. Rock has a special message for Triple H. And much, much more. So, I'm going to start us off with The Rock having a special message with Triple H. And I'll bring it up to you guys right now as Dwayne Johnson, as here he is right now. It's stating this, because Triple H appeared on a bump for 25 years with WWE. And this is what The Rock had to say. As you all know, though, before we get into this, The Rock and Triple H has had a strong rivalry professionally and as well in kayfabe. And a lot of the stuff they did was actually real life attacks on each other. I mean, Rock was just doing his stuff, and then Triple H ad-libbed on him, insulting him, throwing all kinds of crazy other promos out there that wasn't scripted. Rock got pissed and started doing his own ad-libbing after. And this is at the time where Vince was railing Triple H for doing so. So when The Rock did it, he also took the railing, but it was damn good. It was good entertainment for all of us as the fans. So this is what The Rock had to say. There's some big stuff going down, and big stuff going down is Triple H. 25 years of a storied, epic, historic career already. So I am honored to send you this message, my friend, to help celebrate and help honor your 25 years. Being not only part of the WWE, but 25 years of being the WWE. And man, I gotta tell you, we are lucky boys to have the career that we had in the world that we love so much of professional wrestling. I gotta tell you, man, from the first time I got into the company, from my very first matches in Survivor Series at the Garden, you were so good to me, so welcoming to me then, but I also knew everybody in the locker room, that there was hunger in your eyes, and I knew that we were going to be competitors and we were going to compete and work our asses off. And that's exactly what we did, and that's exactly why we gelled together. Why we had an incredible chemistry. You know, I always talk about the matches I've had with Stone Cold, that you've had with Stone Cold, and that you had with Mick Foley. And I've had with Mick Foley, The Undertaker, you name it. But as there's only one man I've gone around this world and wrestled consistently with so many times and put in just incredible matches. That's you. I thank you. I love you. Congratulations, man, on just an amazing career, but also to not only an amazing 25 years, but also not only in the ring, but what you've done outside of the ring too. It's unparalleled. You can't compare it because nobody else has done it. And what you're doing with NXT, what you're doing with the company itself, and what you're doing to make sure the fans go home happy. because it's in your blood, it's in your DNA. It is as if you were born in the business and some other lifetime you were. This is why we're kindred spirits. Congratulations on such an amazing 25 years. I look forward to the next 25. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a brother again. And I love you. Man, happy 25th. Amazing, amazing. Love you, brother. So, that was the actual Rock commenting on Triple H's 25 years. That's the Rock that's pretty much put everything that they had behind them, because and most people knows in a lot of shoot interviews, especially like what Flair had just talked about long back, that both Triple H and The Rock actually had this so much of a deep rivalry that they were also vicious enemies in the locker room too. But this is Rock with all that behind him and just, shooting the shit and basically congratulating Triple H on 25. And Triple H responded with the following: "That is awesome. That is, yeah, I'm 100. I really am. The worst part is, how come he looks so great and I look like an old prune? I'm all wrinkled and gray and stuff, and he looks like the same as he did when I wrestled him in the garden when we walked in the door." Oh man, that's not a shot at The Rock, but that's just funny as shit, because it's true. It's true. Triple H does look like an old prune at this point in time, and Rock still looks the same, just bald. Oh man, I actually like this article as far as reading it. Speaking of Triple H, guys, as I said, the network is actually gonna air 2 new network specials on Triple H. And here is what they're going to do. They're going to have The Game, 25 years with WWE this Friday. And then there's the first the first special that's coming up is Best of WWE, Best of Triple H, which would have 25 years of Triple H, the game-changing matches. That's basically the first. That's the first special that's going to be happening. That means all of Triple H's best matches for the 25 years he's been with the company will be online come Friday. And so if you guys are going to check that out, check that out. I've already saw some special moments on Instagram if you guys want to take a look at that. And then the second special will be Live to Win, a conversation with Triple H and Lemmy. And that debuts at 12 p.m. Eastern after the Best of WWE compilation that they're going to do. So, basically, for those of you who are wrestling fans and who are brand new, just brand new, because every wrestling fan in the world know who Lemmy is. But if you're a new wrestling fan, if you're asking who is Lemmy, just think Motorhead, because he's the lead singer of Motorhead. And Triple H and him were like really close friends during the time that Triple H had his later career when he was leading Evolution. Whenever Motorhead did Time to Play the Game. I mean, they've been friends for a very long time, and I think this is going to be interesting because it's a conversation between Triple H and Lemmy. I think this is probably the one that you guys are going to really want to watch, because I think a lot of people who are fans of Motorhead or Lemmy and like Triple H, they're probably going to want to listen to this. It's probably going to be some epic stuff. And as far as like a lot of the things I saw on Instagram for what WWE has posted for some Triple H's greatest moments, they viewed the Intercontinental Championship that he won, his debut match where he actually was using the Cutter RKO as his finish, but then they went to the one where he beats Mark Merrow, win the Intercontinental title, being managed by Mr. Perfect, and there's so much more. It goes from it's a small selection. I think the one that I think everybody's going to remember the most recent is going to be Triple H winning the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. but they were showing us like several of his milestones, and I think they'll be part of this compilation. That's what I'm gonna tell you guys. So, all right, moving on. So WWE has an injury storyline going on, and they announced an injury this week on the bump, and basically what it's being told is that Elias has suffered a bruised larynx and broken fingers during the brutal attack by Baron Corbin last Friday, and they don't know if he's medically cleared. And just to give you guys a note here, because I think a lot of people are going to be asking, what does it mean, storyline injuries? So in the gray, it says, in the storyline again. So this is basically like the same thing if you're watching AEW, where Moxley, he had been injured in the eye, and he played up to the eye, playing a factor in his match against Jericho. So this is going to play a factor in the storyline with Elias and Baron Corbin. And quite honestly, I can't wait to see it, I can't wait to see what's going to happen out of this. Usually when they have a storyline injury, they're either writing you off for a little while, or they're going to use it in a storyline. I think the best one they ever did, in my opinion, for WWE so far would be the John Cena stabbing by Carlito and Jesus back in 2005. And then I think the one that's the most memorable when they did a storyline injury like this was, well, they didn't know if it was a storyline injury at the time, because Nash has gone and said other things, and that's when Shawn Michaels had his concussion in '95. The concussion in that match was when Owen Hart enziguried his head, and then when Shawn Michaels would get back up, he fell right back down, and now just are going like, "What's wrong with Shawn?" And they went quiet for a while. Now, here's the thing about this: Nash revealed that that was possibly Shawn saying, "I lost my fucking smile," and when they did that, so I always felt like Shawn around that time, from '95 to '97, was actually so much of a babyface that fans actually believed in a lot of things, like being emotionally attached to Shawn's injuries. So, is that the same thing with Elias right now? In my opinion, I do not know. But I think it will also play a fact that don't be shocked if you see Baron Corbin say, "I broke Elias's fingers. Now he won't be able to strum guitar and sing anymore." I wouldn't be shocked if he said something like that in a promo in the next episode of SmackDown. So, you guys check it out. All right. What else now we got in the news? SummerSlam status is up next. All right. So we're scheduled to have SummerSlam on August 23rd at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. However, as we all know, there's this current outbreak of coronavirus going on, and there's been some doubt if the show would go down as planned. And this is what is being said. As today, we have not received any updates from WWE regarding the changes to SummerSlam, so it's still scheduled as planned. Any updates regarding the event will be posted on their website, and that's the tdgarden.com. And then you just look up WWE 2020, SummerSlam 2020. So, that, in my humblest opinion, I think that's somewhat up in the air status for SummerSlam kind of news. But it's good news because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I'm pretty sure if WWE is going to change anything to that schedule, as far as SummerSlam goes, they're going to probably notify the fans. Like location, or is there going to be changes to the card, whatnot. Like, I give them the benefit of doubt of letting us know what's going to go on before SummerSlam goes on air, or before SummerSlam gets close by, because they did that for WrestleMania. Will SummerSlam be airing? I don't know. We'll see what happens. With the current outbreak of coronavirus, what can you do? I mean, it's either you're going to cancel the event or you're going to reschedule or change things up so that basically there is an event. This is a wait and see. That's a wait and see. As far as how this is being reported by the person who wrote this article, I can tell you how I personally feel about how they're writing it up. It's like, well, after this pandemic, I don't think we'll be able to shake hands ever again. Guys. What bugs me about that kind of attitude is, well, fuck, it's like you don't want to do shit. You don't want to do shit because you're scared. You don't want to take the time to find out if shit's bad or not. I see this on the regular news too, guys, with a lot of things. And a lot of people who are complaining, like CNN, they're complaining like, oh, you won't be able to shake hands ever again, even after this pandemic. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, legitimately, the fuck are you talking about? And I know some people are going to like, well, they're just being honest because of what the coronavirus is. It's like, so life's not going to go on because of a freaking virus. I mean, guys, what I'm saying is, if you listen to the media and they're doing this and they're trying to get you to psyched in to say, like, we won't be able to do all these things that we used to love doing. I'm going to be honest with you. There was pandemics for the flu, the pandemics for the Black Plague, pandemics for a lot of things. Epidemics in Africa, if you ask. And for the people, once they got over it, people went back to normal daily lives. And, maybe they were a lot smarter in taking care of things, like clean surfaces, clean hands, yes. But here's the thing. Just because a pandemic or an epidemic happens does not mean life will not go on. Stop trying to make everybody get depressed and not want to do anything. For one, that's just wrong. Like, I'm going to give you guys an example. When lockdown happened, I could have sat on my ass at home, do nothing, and wait for this pandemic to actually hit my city and I get sick with it, right? Or I could make the best out of my life, meaning starting up my YouTube channel, getting a workout once in a while, freaking looking for jobs, or even better yet, folks, just spending time with family, doing some yard work, living. Life needs to go on. And if we just stop it because we're scared of a freaking bacteria, we're not going to get shit done. We're not going to enjoy our life. It's going to be a depressing state of mind. So what I'm saying is, whatever you can do with what you have, hey, if you need to spend more time with family, spend time with family more. If you're working from home, hey, do the best job you can. If you want to learn a new skill on your own, why not? If you want to work out, there's nothing stopping you from working out, guys. You could just do push-ups and sit-ups the whole time. Freaking, if you watch Batman The Dark Knight Rises, that's what Bruce Wayne was doing when he was locked up in a freaking prison. He's doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, hell, everything to get himself ready for Bane. So, what I'm saying is, there's a lot to do, even on lockdown. Life does not end just because there's a freaking virus out there. Just think about this. Are you going to be happy with yourself knowing that you didn't get to do any of the things, like spending time with family or stuff that you could do at home while this virus is happening outside, and then you somehow contracted somehow and then you die? Are you going to be happy with yourself if you did nothing the whole time? Or are you going to be happy that you did something like spending time with family, cleaning yard, working out, doing something small, smaller than what you're used to? Because a lot of people take a lot of that shit for granted, too. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, enough of my soapbox for that. So SummerSlam is still scheduled to go, and we'll find out more news later. All right, next. Tessa Blanchard and Eddie Edwards issue an apology for missing Rebellion, guys, and Impact tapings. And basically, we're going to start with Tessa. Tessa, I actually reported that she was not going to be at Rebellion last week when I did my video on that. But now she has apologized for it. And here's what she says. I've been in the ring with guys bigger than you. I've beaten guys bigger than you. Scared? No. Staying safe? Yes. To the best, you've got to beat the best. And whether you or anyone else likes it, I'm the best. At Impact Wrestling. I'm sorry to all the fans of Impact Wrestling that I wasn't there tonight. These times affect each one of us in a very different yet significant ways. I encourage everyone to stay at home, and that includes myself. Great job to everyone who competed. Just going back to my soapbox, I guess, but she's apologized to the fans for not being there at the show because she wants to stay safe from the coronavirus. And you ask me, I think maybe that would have been a good move by Tessa, but honestly, the fact that she made it into a promo kind of irks me a little bit. And the thing is, her whole promo is she's saying, I'm not afraid, that's not the reason why I'm not there, basically. The fact that she explained why she's not there, and that's basically she wants to stay safe. She doesn't feel comfortable working with this pandemic going on. Which, in my humblest opinion, there's a lot of people in the wrestling community who are in fact like this, who are like-minded, because if you are, I'm pretty sure that all the superstars are in all the different promotions are probably worried that they could be risking their life to get coronavirus. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you should probably call your boss and tell him, hey, I can't make it. I'm worried. And I guess in her case, I don't know if she's compromised, guys. I don't know if Tessa Blanchard is immunely compromised. Maybe she knows somebody in her family who is. She's just being practical. That's basically what she's saying. And that is she wants to stay safe for whatever reason. Maybe it's family who can't handle being exposed to that stuff, The only thing that irks me about it is she had to turn it into a promo. She could have just been straight up and honest, but no, she turned it into a promo. But yeah, so I think she made a good decision, but it might have been a bad decision career-wise, because some of the promoters are going to be like, well, frick, if we need you and you come up with this kind, it might not make you the most reliable person, Alright, so that's what I'm worried about in that sense. Eddie Edwards' turn now. And basically, this is the kind of apology I would have expected from Tessa or anyone else. And it says here, I am truly sorry I'm not there. I apologize to the fans who were looking forward to our match. I apologize to the locker room. We're all in this together. This is just a hiccup. I will be back. Also, I want to say thank you to Impact Wrestling office for being so supportive. And hashtag thank you. So, what what I like about this one is this: Eddie Edwards did not pull any punches. He apologizes to the fans for not being there. He would want to be there, but he feels. I'm guessing like Tessa, he wants to stay safe. So, for him to take this opportunity to do so, and ask basically just to take time off, that's actually a better excuse than what Tessa had for an apology. I actually like Eddie's better. So, it's very professional. And he's being straight up and honest, and he's out with it. He's not turning it into a promo. That's the only reason why I don't like Tessa's apology, guys. It's because she turns it into a promo at the beginning. She didn't need to do that. All she needed to do was just be straight up and honest with the fans, and say, "Hey, I don't feel safe during this pandemic. I'll be back, but just letting you know, I don't feel comfortable at the moment." And I'm guessing that's what's going on with Eddie as well, but at least Eddie's being straight up and honest to why he's not there and apologizes. So this is the more professional thing to do, in my opinion. I don't know. I think some people are going to say, well, that's because Tessa's being a strong woman. I'm like, doesn't matter. She turned it into a promo. That's why I get upset with it, But I like Eddie better. He apologized sincerely. All right, next on the list, let's go on to MLW, making a huge announcement today. MLW will be digitizing their Underground series, basically, which is their smaller show. It's basically the following has been stated as MLW's production studio is working on transferring the Underground TV series from tape to digital. This process will start Monday. You will see the entire library from 2003 and 4 to digitize. And basically, since Major League Wrestling relaunched in 2017, fans have been asking for Underground, and we're now making that a reality. So you guys are going to get to see Underground matches from 2003 to 2004, which feature Steve Corino, the Extreme Horseman, Terry Funk, the Savior of the Masses, CM Punk, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Sanjay Dutt, Chris Hero, The Homicidal, Suicidal, Genocidal, Sabu, L.A. Park, rest in peace, Vampiro, Eddie Fatu Umaga, rest in peace, and countless others. So, MLW Underground aired in various markets through America, including Fox Sports, Sunshine Network, Atlantic Pacific, and broadcasted from Philadelphia, Dallas, Ohio, Las Vegas, New England, and even Japan, the United Kingdom, and India, and South America. And there will be more details later on to let us know where Underground ends up. So, with the digitizing of Underground, this is basically what they're doing with their Underground library series. The library right now is basically they're making it digitized so that you can actually get it from a different network. Question is, will it be from the WWE network? Will MLW do it on the Fight Network? Will it be on Netflix? That's the question that I'm wondering, because I'm kind of curious to watch the matches. And MLW has produced some good stuff, so I suggest you guys check their stuff currently going on, because these are the guys who are responsible for MJF. I believe David Hart Smith Jr., or Davey Boy Smith Jr., and actually is their current champion, I believe. My God. Some dust in my nose, guys. But yeah. D.H. Smith is, in fact, their champion, I believe, at one. Is he the champ right now? I don't know. I got to catch up on MLW. I know Teddy Hart was their... what was that? Championship. Their middleweight champion. And on top of that, they have Brian Pillman Jr. They also have the Von Erichs Ross, and Marshall, Vaughn, Eric. So if you guys want to watch some wrestling that's different from AEW, WWE, MLW is a good place to watch. All right, next on the line. Tori Wilson claims The Undertaker's ex-wife is batshit crazy. Wow, Michelle McCool. What the fuck? Oh, wait, is this Michelle McCool? Oh, no. Oh, my bad. It wasn't Michelle McCool that she's talking about. She's talking about Undertaker's ex-wife, Sarah. You know that tattoo Undertaker has on his neck that says Sarah on it? Yeah, this is who Tori Wilson's talking about. So, basically, this is what she said. Taker's ex-wife, she did attempt to beat me up. Ex-wife, I said. Ex. She was a little crazy. I'm just going to tell you, she was batshit crazy. She did think I liked somebody, not her husband. She thought I liked somebody else, and she wanted to beat me up because she thought I liked somebody else's husband, which I did not. That's not my game. Wow. So, the Undertaker's ex-wife, Sarah. Is that why Undertaker's not with her? I don't know why they broke up, but maybe, I don't know. But apparently, Sarah, the same Sarah that was stalked by Diamond Dallas Page back in 2001, wanted to beat the shit out of Tori Wilson because she thought that she liked somebody else in the locker room. Wow. I'm gonna say this for people who are watching this. This is Tori Wilson's opinion of Sarah, and basically she finds her batshit crazy. My personal opinion, I don't know Sarah enough, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Whenever you hear a wrestler talk about somebody else in the business, sometimes they're working you, sometimes they're not. I don't think this is a work, but if it is, wow. But as far as I'm concerned, if Tori Wilson said it, I'm guessing it's true because she's actually a really nice and sweet person. So, and I think she was more down to earth than a lot of the other divas who are gone crazy. So, I mean, and I'll give you guys an example. Tammy Lynn Stitch has gone crazy as shit, in my opinion. But if she's saying Sarah was batshit crazy, wow. Oh, man. Enough with the drama there, but let's go with this. Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh, see, this is the guy I was trying to remember last time I was on. He reveals how he got his job with WWE. And he states the following. And then what I kind of made it, they would kind of put you right up front at WrestleMania shows like, yeah, that's better than getting the best seat at a restaurant in LA. You know what I mean? Because I love wrestling. And then when I was there, I met some random people and they like, dude, you should talk to Vince. You'll say no, and not just crap on it. Say no. You'll have ideas too. And I was like, yeah, I should talk to Vince. I wasn't wanting to act anymore. I was like, what's gonna happen, really? And so I went, and they said, first you have to talk to Stephanie. And I was like, all right. I didn't know that was a big deal. I was like, I'm going to talk to Steph. Then I sat down. It was like a legit job interview, and she was asking me questions like, oh, were you just going like this? Okay. We're just going like this, okay? So I just started throwing some stuff, and she like, you have to talk to my dad. His first day on the job, he goes like, so I talked to Vince. I can tell this because Brian Goritz and I are cool, but my first day, he brings me into Vince's office, and it's just Brian Goritz and me, and he goes, Brian, this is Freddie how he's going to be working with us on the writing team. Brian's very polite. He goes, "Oh yeah, hey man, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you." You both sit down, and Vince grabs Brian's script and goes, "Well, Brian's going to be rewriting this." And he just throws it to me, and I look at it, and he's just looking at me, and he's like, "Not nice anymore." We walk out of the room, and I'm like, "Dude, I don't know." And he goes, "This is because you're here, man." And I was like, "Bro, it's not. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going down like that." And so I was like, "Okay, all right. I'm a quick learner." And so it took me about 2 to 3 weeks, and I figured out how the river flow. And then I just had a fun from that moment on. It was just a travel that kicked my butt. So, for those of you guys who are wondering how Freddie Prinze got his job, the answer is he talked to Vince, he talked to Stephanie, because Brian Gewirtz told him to do so. Which, I look at that as, to me, it's like, wow, it only took that. And I'm guessing the reason why he got his job is because somebody thought of his ideas and said, "Hey man, yeah, you could definitely write this shit. Why don't you?" So that's actually kind of cool to learn, you know. All right, next on our list, Drake Maverick talks having a chance to keep WWE job by proving his worth. Because he made an appearance on the bump today, and he was discussing his release, and he says oh man, that's a lot to read. I'm not gonna read all that, guys. But basically, he's talking about having to show that he is worth something, you know, and I think he's gonna do it through NXT. So, from what I'm getting here, is that he plans to try and get his job back through his last shootings of NXT. And there has been rumors, guys, about Drake actually keeping his job in WWE since the release. The idea is that he got fired from WWE, but he's going to get picked up by NXT. That's what the rumor is being told right now. So the question is this rumor true? And for Drake Maverick, he's going to try and prove to the management that he's worth a damn keeping. So we'll see how this goes out, you know. Alright, so, and now we are on to the next article, which is Dave Penzer returns to Impact Wrestling as their official ring announcer. So, David Penzer did both WCW and TNA in the early, from the 90s to 2000s. And I think that's kind of cool because, you know, I like the fact that Penzer is back on the ring announcers, because he was actually a pretty damn good ring announcer back for WCW, and I think he would fit well in Impact, you know? So, glad to see that he's coming back to Impact. And he's even said it's official, I guess. And then he thanks Impact Wrestling and the fans, so should be nice to see David Penzer back on the mic. Now, there's more news now going on about the SmackDown hacker, aka The Message. And basically what it sounds like, Twitter has released a version of a new video with audio speech. It sounds like Xaiver Woods. And it goes where Woods is denying the claim, saying, "My setup doesn't even look like that. Also, streaming right now. Austin Creed at Twitch." So, This hacker lists its location at 33 1284 degrees north and 107 250 no 2528 degrees. These are actually the coordinates for Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley has been previously listed from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, during his Cactus Jack run. And then the hacker has sent this most recent video. There are those who don't want us to speak. They don't want us to see the force and fear. They've risen to power, but people should not fear those in power. Those in power fear the people, for the people are many. The people are ready, and we will speak. We will seek, and the evil done in the dark will be exposed in the light. The message will be delivered, and the truth will be heard. And here's even Austin Creed on his Twitter saying, "My setup doesn't even look like that." And when you look at it, he's right. So, like I said, I believe it's Ali, and I guess Woods just proved my point. It could be somebody else. So, and now they're teasing it could be Mick Foley. So, my question is, what's next? It's like they're dropping stuff about the hacker every day. So we'll see what happens, guys. Alright. Now, Jim Cornette is asked on if Vince McMahon is a cool guy. Of course, he has a whole list of things to say. Make sure you guys check out the drive-thru if you're going to watch Jim Cornette, you know. But basically, he was asked if Vince McMahon is cool. And he goes like this: well, some of him is, and some of him is crazy. And some of him is an evil asshole. We've talked about it. There's no really way to describe it. Except to him. The whole thing, business is business. He will just say, okay, fine, cut him a pal. We need to please the stockholders and make the stock look good. You know, blah, blah, blah. So fire these guys. The next time he sees them, hey, how are you, pal? That was just business. Sorry, your family's was out on the street, and he goes and he does good things for people. Every once in a while, you hear somebody who needs something, and he will send them money, or he would help them, or whatever. He's kept a lot of guys that were loyal to his dad. He's taking care of guys who are loyal to his dad better than most of the people who have been loyal to him. You never know. I say that's a fair thought because Kevin Dunn is one of those guys that he takes care of, apparently. So, I think this is an honest perspective on Vince. That's just my honest opinion. And it kind of reminds me of that interview that Hornswoggle did. It says he's always been good to me. He doesn't have to be a nice guy. He doesn't have to be cool. Sometimes he has to be a dick. So I guess that's what Cornette is basically saying here. And Vince has treated people very well in the process too, even after everything that's gone down. So that is an honest opinion there. Alright, next on the list. Arn Anderson has comments on the Scott Steiner confronting Hulk Hogan's wife. Oh, and this is on Arn's podcast, by the way, which is also on YouTube. And ad-free, I don't know. All I know is that Comrade Thompson runs his podcast. So, did Scott Steiner cost Hogan's wife? You're going to hear all kinds of stories. Do I doubt Scotty said it? No. Scotty has always said exactly what he meant. Now, for him to go across a perfect stranger, Hogan's wife, and threatened to him to kill him, that seems a little strong to me, even for Scotty. But may very well have happened. I know that terroristic threats are just terroristic threats. That's a crime, and if they felt, they being the police department, that actually went down, shouldn't have there been arrest? For that, guys, I've had my own fair share of doing terroristic threatening back when I was in middle school. I saw a kid on the news who did a terroristic threatening, and he ended up in jail and juvenile hall for more than 16 years just for terroristic threatening alone. And there's one kid that they even talked about who got terroristic threatening, he got arrested for that, and he's been put in jail for life. So, yeah, terroristic threatening is a serious, serious issue. If you're going to threaten somebody, you better not be terroristic about it. But, just don't. You don't need the drama. You don't need the bullshit. You're better than that. On how, since nothing happened physically, you just move on. I don't know. It sounds like a terrible thing that happened. Never accost a woman. Period. Verbally, physically, certainly not. And one of the guy's wives, the families are off limits. They've always been off limits. And you don't attack a family member if you got beef with somebody. This is information you just gave me, is the most I've had. And it was one of those things you take with a grain of salt. Did anything physical happen? No. Then you move on. And I know somebody's going to look at this comment from Arn Anderson and they're going to be like, so what about all the different wrestling companies that have all the different promos about the wrestlers saying this and that about someone's family? Quite honestly, those are just promos, storyline, let it go. If it's in real life, that's what he's talking about. Family is off limits. And I know people are going to bring up the Savage Hogan thing, but you don't know what actually happened, and Savage is not here to tell you the full story. And I don't think Terry's going to talk about it. That's what my honest opinion. For all we know, it might not have been anything to begin with, and it's just the whole situation with Liz on that one. So, as far as what Arn Anderson is saying about Scott Steiner, I agree with him. Take it with a grain of salt because you don't know exactly what was said. And another reason why I would also agree with Arn on that is because Scott Steiner has known to say things that he actually doesn't mean. Scott Steiner also has said stuff that contradicts a lot of stuff he said before. So who's not to say that Scott Steiner saying this kind of stuff to somebody to get them all popped is not happening? Because Scott Steiner just works them. He's one of the boys. He's working his audience when he does that kind of stuff. And quite honestly, if he's using something that's real life to get himself over, he would do something like that. That's why I would say take it with a grain of salt. You don't know if this was actual true to life thing and true emotions, or if this is just the guy working, So take it with a grain of salt. And now ratings for the Dark Side of the Ring are in. It has last week's show drew a 0.09 rating. And this was for the Jimmy Snuka and the Death of Nancy Argentino. And I look at this, and this is how their viewership has been. 209,000 for this last week's episode. I think Dino Bravo's is supposed to happen tonight or tomorrow, or it was yesterday. The Brawl for All drew in 226,000. The Life and Crimes of New Jack drew 229,000. And of course, the Chris Benoit story, which was a 2-part episode, drew 320,000. Somehow I think that number is inaccurate because that's 2 episodes. I think there's more because you had 2 nights of the story. And as far as the life and crimes of New Jack, I was kind of expecting a little bit more because New Jack's shit is just legendary. And the Brawl for All, I kind of expected that. You have to be a hardcore wrestling fan to actually want to know more about the Brawl for All. And then with the Jimmy Snuka and the death of Nancy, it's kind of like a true murder case story. So it's not like it's a wrestling story, but it's also like true murder files. It's not as entertaining. The next one on today's news. Young Bucks comment on Chris Jericho giving back to the other wrestlers in AEW. So here's what Nick and Matt had to say. I always called Jericho our Hulk Hogan. He's done it all, and there's something about it that, even though he has been in the business for 30 years, he still wants to give back and get characters over. You never see that. And then Matt says, most wrestlers want to be over, and they don't care about anybody else. The prevailing attitude in the business is often, I want you to do good, just not as good as me. Jericho wants everyone to be elevated. We made the right call. Look at how he made Darby Allin. Those matches with Jungle Boy and Scorpio Sky were really important too. And Jericho watches all our matches too. People don't realize he's the guy that pulls us aside and says, this was great, but you could do this better. We don't have enough of those guys in the business. I actually like this, how they are commenting on Jericho, because I truly believe what they're saying about Jericho right now is in fact true. Because when I look at it, Chris is the kind of guy that would, he cares enough about the business to want to see the business grow, and he's not always in it for himself. He's basically want to see guys go with him. And the one thing is, I've noticed in every Talk is Jericho podcast I've listened to Jericho, he genuinely wants to learn from the old guys and pass down the knowledge to the current guys, so. And then he also talks about how he wants to see the wrestling business grow all the time. So I really like this, And I hope, and I'm going to say this, I hope the Bucks, what they're learning from Jericho now, I hope they can pass that on to guys after they're done, When they get in Jericho's position years from now, I hope they pass down that same knowledge and have that same attitude, Because I think then the business will get even healthier, in my opinion. All right, and now WWE confirms 2 men's and women Money in the Bank matches for Friday night's SmackDown. So the first one's going to be Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks for a spot. And honestly, the fact that they're going to put Sasha Banks in this, I think she's going to be one of my picks for the Money in the Bank. I'm already interested in how they're going to do Money in the Bank already. If you guys don't know about Money in the Bank right now, they're going to be doing it from WWE headquarters, where they got to go all the way up to the penthouse floor. And then they're going to because they're going to start from the bottom of the from the bottom of headquarters to go all the way to that roof. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. This is going to be an interesting Money in the Bank, that's for sure. So Sasha and Lacey are for tonight. Who else is going to be on there? All right. It will be Drew Gulak and King Corbin in a match tonight for a qualifier. Honestly, I hope Corbin wins the Money in the Bank. That's just my honest opinion. I'm going with Corbin. Just because I think he would make a great Money in the Bank winner. Wait, he won once, right? Yeah. I think he would make a great Money in the Bank winner this time because he's been such a dick. So, who knows? if Drew Gulak wins this and goes to the Money in the Bank, this could be a thing that will launch him into the main event. And I think that would be good for Drew Gulak, in my opinion. Either way, this match is good for both guys. And I think the Money in the Bank would do both of them good, you know? So, we should be able to enjoy that match. And then our last topic of the news today will be Sami Callihan. Yes. Impact's Sami Callihan. And basically why he worked Impact tapings during the coronavirus pandemic. And here's it goes. The reason that I was 100% okay with doing that, is because Impact took amazing care of us. From the time we got there to the time we left, I knew no one from our crew was going to be in any danger. Impact took every precaution to make sure our television taping was the safest taping going on right now. I put my entire trust into Impact management to make sure we all get taken care of. I've wrestled for every major company on the planet, and Impact Wrestling truly is a family. I know it's crazy to think how many families there are in this crazy world, but our entire locker room and entire staff took care of each other so we could all be safe. Then he goes on later on to talk about creative freedom to become top heel. And then here's what he said about a possible match with Jon Moxley down the line. You never know what might happen at the end of the day. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. Everyone always compares us, but because we train at the same place, we came up at the same time and we teamed together. I don't want to live in Jon Moxley's shadow. We've done a really good job of separating ourselves and really carving a niche in the industry. And you want my honest opinion, guys? This is why I'm calling Impact Wrestling the number 3 wrestling brand in America right now. Because right now I'm not hearing too much from Ring of Honor. I mean, I know they got Marty Scurll and Jay Lethal down there and PCO. But when I'm looking at Impact right now and seeing how good their product has been for the last year and a half or 2 years, they actually have improved so much, and I'm so thankful that they did, because prior to all that, I've had a bad impression on Impact because of how bad their management was prior to the current regime that's in power right now. So, I'm gonna say, are all companies carving them out to be different? AEW's trying to be an alternative to WWE. WWE's doing their own thing. Impact Wrestling has a whole thing that's going on. It's a different path than the other two companies, but is actually producing some good shit. And then Ring of Honor is doing its own thing, so I like that statement from Sami Callihan. Alright, so guys, that is the wrestling news for today. Oh man, I think we ran to an hour. I thank you guys for watching. Hit a like and subscribe. Leave a comment of what you guys think about this. As far as all these different topics in wrestling, I think you guys would find a lot of these things interesting if you're in the wrestling community, especially in the internet wrestling community. I hope you guys have a great day and take care.